Hey guys, we're going to continue to review one-step equations as well as using a tape diagram to help us solve these one-step equations. If you remember from yesterday, we learned one-step equations. So if you can remember that the opposite of addition is subtraction and vice versa, and the opposite of multiplication is division, you are good to go. So let's look at solving equations for tape diagrams. But my first question to you is, what the heck is a tape diagram? A tape diagram is a visual model using rectangular shapes such as these Legos, here and here, to represent mathematical concepts. So it's a visual that we use to help us understand what's happening for these equations. If you remember the Huskies from yesterday, where we used that as the number attached to x, it's similar. But let's get on to it. A tape diagram. Let's look at our first example here. It says we're going to create an addition equation using this tape diagram below. So I have my t, which is going to be this large. From here to here is t. Okay? So I need to know how much is t. Well, if you can see right below it, from here to here is 15. And then from here to here is 25. So what do you think that we're going to do in order to solve t? Add 15 and 25. So if I add 25 and 15 together, I'm going to get the total of t because they are the same length from here to here. So if I add 25 and 15, I'm going to get 40. So I know that t right here, this whole t from here to here is 40. Now let's try another example. Maybe let's look at a different one to see if this is going to help. So that's for addition. I know that if I add this 15 from here to here, this is 15. And from here to here is 25. If I added those together, I get a total again of 40 for my t. Let's look at our second example here. And remember to feel free to pause this video at any time that you are stuck. So now I'm dealing with r. My r is from here to here. This whole r right here. I need to know what r is. But we're going to use subtraction now in order to figure it out. So I already have my 18 right here. I know this part of my r is 18. And I know that this part of my r is going to be 5. So if I was going to create a subtraction, what would this look like? So since I know that my 18 is what it's going to be essentially equal to, because I already have my 18 here, what I need to do is figure out my r. So I don't know what r is. So I can have r minus 5 will give me the 18 from here to here. So if you can remember, this is a one-step equation. Look. If I draw my line straight down, the opposite of subtraction is addition, so I can add 5 to both sides. These would cancel. What is r going to give me? Yep, it's going to give me 23. So guess what my r is? 23. Good job. So this is saying I already knew from here to here was 18. If I added both of those together, then I could easily solve that r had a total of 23. Let's move on to the next problem and see if you get this one too. I'm pretty sure that you're understanding this at this point, which is perfect. So let's move on to our next example. Now we're going to create a tape diagram using this equation below. So if you recall, we need to have a large box, which is going to be my B, because I don't know what my B is. I have -5, so I'm going to draw it probably about to there. And I'm going to label this one 5. Now, the rest of it is going to be my 9. Look at that. We created a tape diagram. So if you wanted to figure out what B actually is, you could, based on the model above, the equation above, and the model below. Pause this video at any time to try the next one on your own and quiz yourself and see if you can do it before I do. So let's move on. I'm going to create a type diagram using this one. So I don't know what my P is. So I'm going to draw my giant box, my tape diagram. And I know that this is going to be P. Now I know 5 and 12 is larger, 12 is larger than 5, so I'm going to predict it's going to be about this long based on my other one. So I'm going to have 12 here, and guess what the rest of this little square right here is going to be? Yep, 5. Good job. So this says that 12 plus 5 will give me the length of this P, which is 100% true, because I can add those two together and see that that's happening. Let's move on to the next one. So we're going to create a tape diagram for a multiplication problem. As you can see, how many ends are we dealing with? We're dealing with 10. So I'm going to draw out 10 ends. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ends. Okay, so I have 10 ends. That is what this red part says. Equals, I have 40. So I know the amount is 40. So I'm going to draw a line from corner to corner and write 40. This says that 10 ends equals my amount of 40. And if I were to solve this, you would get what? That would be your n. So that would be, that amount would be each of these ends separate. And together they equal 40. Let's do the next one. So since we dealt with the multiplication one, now we're going to deal with the division one. So let's look at this. We have m over 4 equals -13. So I know that my m is going to be an amount. It's going to be a large amount. So I'm going to draw my m first. Now how many 13s are going to go underneath it? Well, remember the rule is if I'm dividing, that means both sides I'm going to multiply. So I'm dealing with 4 sets of -13. So underneath it, I'm going to draw -13 4 times. This says that if I multiply 13 m's together, 4 sets of -13, I will get whatever that is will also be equal to m. So if you did off to the side 13 times 4, -13 times 4, that amount is what m is. Okay, so as you can see, that from this tape diagram for m does equal 13 m's, or sorry, 4 negative 13s. Okay. So now we're going to look at d times a negative 4 equals 32. Now if you remember from our previous one with the m's, I believe, yep, the n's, sorry, the 10 to the n equals 40, it's going to be similar. Just know that it's going to be negative numbers, or sorry, letters this time. So I have a negative 4d, right? So now I have 4 negative d's. So I'm going to take my pen and go like this. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to label them negative d, because this tells me that it is a negative. So if I have my negative 4d equals 32, guess what's going to be on the bottom? This whole amount is going to be 32. How crazy is that? All right, we're going to go over one more in order to have you move on to your summit practice. So let's look at this. The directions say create a tape diagram and solve this word problem below. So that's crucial. Make sure we read the directions and see if there's 2 parts or just one. In this part, it's 2 because I need to make a tape diagram and solve the word problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read what this little story says. Lynn has 27 stickers. She gives 3 stickers to each of her friends. How many friends did Lynn share her stickers with? So I'm going to highlight key information. I know that 27 stickers is highly important. That's how many stickers she started out with. She also gave each of her friends 3 stickers. So it doesn't tell me how many of her friends there are, but I know that each of her friends are getting 3 stickers. So I'm going to write 3F. So now I've drawn out the problem. Now I need to solve it. So remember, you need to draw your line, and I need to get F by itself. So since they're next to each other, it means multiplication. The opposite is going to be division. So what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. These are going to cancel, and I'm left with F equals, what is 27 divided by 3? 9. So guess how many friends she has? 9. She has 9 friends that she needs to give these to, those stickers. So now let's make a tape diagram. So it's going to be similar to the ones that we just did, right? So I have 3 F's. So I know that I have 1, 2, 3 F's. That amount is going to equal my 27. So right below it, I'm going to draw a total of 27. And boom! Now let's go back and make sure I did everything right. I created a tape diagram. Yep. And I solved the word problem. Yep. So she has 9 friends. How cool is that? So for your final little part here, you're going to go on your own to Summit Learning and complete the first cool down. So let's open Summit. So you're going to click your year view, and what you're going to see next, you might have Pythagorean theorem in the center here, but the one you're going to click on for math units is expressions, equations, and inequality. When you click it open, you will see a title called Red and Yellow Apples. That'll be the first cool down that you will do. So get started on that.